Time is running out, guys. If you want to get your chance to win our wide body 2008 STI, every $1 you spend on our website, whether it be on performance parts or merchandise, gives you 1 entry to win. Good luck.
Alright guys, welcome back. So like I said, we are going to be working on the Miata Kart, and the first thing that I actually want to take care of, I want to start taking care of the tail lights. In our last video I showed you that I got a bunch of lights for it, and I do want to mount this right now before I do the cage, so I can have something installed, that way I can do some test drive with it, especially since today we are going to be adding some wheels on it. These are tail lights and turning signals. And you may be asking, what do you need turning signal when this is going to be an off-road vehicle? But at the same time, you never know if something may happen and I may have to turn on my hazard lights so the team or the crew or my boys can see that there's something going wrong with the car. I also ended up getting this separately, which is the mount for this one, that way I don't have to spend time making a custom bracket. For this, I don't need a relay because I'm going to use the stock factory harness, and I'm going to hook up to the tail lights and turning signals and ground from here. So that's pretty much where I'm going to be mounting it at. I'm going to be mounting it right before this because I'm going to start welding a plate here and starting my cage or my rear bumper brace from here. So I want this behind it, that way when I'm welding and cutting it doesn't damage this. I can just throw some tape over it and it'll protect it. So as you guys can see, I have both harnesses running in the inboard of the car, and I'm gonna just be grabbing the tail light wires and the turning signal that belongs from the main harnesses, and I'm just gonna be splicing them and putting them together with this. It should be a simple installation. Alright, so right here I have it marked as tail light right? So we have a turn signal. One of these is probably going to be a reverse light, which just looks like it's this one, and then this one has dual. So I'm assuming this is the tail light with the light when the lights are on, and then the brake light all in one bulb. From this one, one of them is going to be the brake light, the other one's going to be the actual parking lights. There's an easy way to figure that out. You're going to grab a test light. The universal code for colors, black is always ground. I'm not going to be testing the ground. I'm going to be testing the white and green. So I'm going to poke the white one, and that one's lighting up, and then I'm going to put the green one, and it shouldn't light up, which is not. So this tells me that the white one is the one that I need to be hooking up to the regular parking lights for the lights that I just bought. Alright, so since we already know which one is the parking light, which is the white one, the green one should be braking. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna simulate the brakes by probably grabbing a stick or something and putting it in the brake pedal. I'm gonna see if the white one still receives some, and in most cases they do, which it does. So the green one should, yeah, so the green one did light up. So now we know the difference between the two. This is brake and this is parking. So in this case, it's going to be white with white, red with green, ground with ground, and last but not least, the yellow one we are going to put with the green one of the next. Now, I don't know if you guys seen these connectors before. The ones that look like they're too big for the harness, but then they're thin in the middle. What this plastic piece does is it shrinks. What you're gonna do from here, you either grab a lighter or a heat gun, and it's gonna actually seal the wire in there airtight, and that way you don't get water in your harness in case of a rain or something like that. You start washing your car or anything like that. So. And this is the difference between the two. See that? One seal and the other one, I haven't hit it with a heat gun yet. All right, so now let's give it a test. Headlights off, headlights on, brakes, and turn signal. Uh-oh. Oh, key up. So, same thing on the other side, right? You guys are probably thinking that maybe I should have put it through here first before I started doing this, but it's okay. The tail light fits through here. All right, so now that both tail lights are already mounted to the vehicle and the wiring has been done, let's give it one last test. Key on, left, right, lights, check and see, and brakes. All right, guys, so for the front, it's pretty much gonna be the exact same thing. And I'm thinking of putting right here would be the best spot for now for these lights. This wiring is a lot more simpler. It's just two wires, which is ground and headlight and positive. And this is the floodlight that we talked about last time. So it should be fairly simple. All right, you guys can see it's pretty bright. All right, so I see a bracket that seems like it allows the floodlight to swivel up and down, and then bolt nut. Alright guys, so you guys see this aux beam? It has a nut inside of the floodlight. You will place this on top, like this. You guys can see once you guys put a bolt in here, you guys will be able to adjust the floodlight however high or low you want to. I've already done the passenger side, and I just need to lock it all the way down. Just like this, I'm gonna put the bolt and lock washer in there. But before I put this, actually, this one needs to lock in there first. And just like this, put this in here. And then with a lock washer and bolt, you'll be able to just secure it just like this. Just like that. Now this one is stationary, and we'll be able to lock it just like so. All right, so there you have it. Both floodlights are installed. I just gotta take care of the wiring like I did in the backside. Push them back, put some zip ties on so they're out of the way. And then from here, what do you think? Should I put the light bar on top now? Or should I wait until I do the bar in front and put the light bar up front? I think it's time to mess with the wheels. So these wheels came out of my Datsun 510, and I ended up putting some different wheels on it. So yeah, we're gonna be mounting this right now on that bad boy. All right, what do you guys think? That looks a million times better. It's actually starting to look like an actual car now. Like an actual go-kart. That's sick, dude. I knew it was gonna fit because the OD on this tire is the exact same size as the one that I just took off. They're both 23 inches from the bottom of the tire to the top. And this is the exact same way, so I knew it was gonna fit really good. And they're square all the way around. This one's actually sticking out a little bit more than the front, which I like it. Shouldn't have any issues with it rubbing. This is literally the same size. I think the offset is a little bit different, but other than the offset, everything should be the same. All right, well, let me stop talking and get the other side done. All right, guys, so there you have it. All 4 wheels are in, 2 floodlights, and the 2 tail lights are in. Next thing's next. It is dark outside. I'm gonna open the garage door. I'm gonna put it on the street and see how bright it is. And another thing, I haven't driven this car yet since we put the coilovers. The car's only been moved from here to there and back to here on the driveway itself. It's never even seen the streets yet, so I need to test that as well. Test drive that. Hopefully there's nothing loose or anything, and I'll be able to bring the car back in one piece. Alright guys, so the tail light worked. That's good. This thing's actually looking really nice. It's a little bit of rubbing here in this portion. It's hot. Headlights are super bright. I mean, those floodlights definitely work. But she's looking really good. Definitely bright enough to drive on the streets, that's for sure. The car is bouncy as I was expecting because it's so low. I literally have no recoil whatsoever. This thing is all the way to the ground. I might as well just take the springs off the original shocks. But it rides really good. It's so bouncy. Oh my god. Bouncy, but it doesn't feel bad. It doesn't feel like it's gonna break your back. Like I've had other cars like that. All right, guys, it is the next day, and last time I had a lot of issues with the clutch. I kept going all the way down to the floor. We tried bleeding it, but that still didn't work. So I ended up buying a new slave and master for it. So I'm gonna be putting that on now, and after that, we'll get to metalworking. Yep. So here you have it, the new slave and the new master for the clutch system. So I'm gonna get some tools and get to work. Just finished replacing the master and the slave. Now my son's gonna come over here and he's gonna give me a hand bleeding it.
A little later.
Alright guys, so me and my son just got done. Well, we attempted to bleed the system and we noticed that we weren't getting any fluids over there. So I should have done a bench test on this thing, on the master. So the brand new master that I installed actually was not working. I put it on my vise and I started to do a bleeding system. So the way you bleed it is you go from here. You grab a line, you put a line from there back into the reservoir and you pump until the fluid comes out constantly. So this brand new master cylinder was not letting the fluid go into the cylinder in here. So there's something clogging it. So I went and grabbed my original one, I put that on my vise, and then I did the same test. And this one, the original one, was actually working flawlessly. So I ended up putting that back in there with the brand new slave, and that fixed the whole system. So my slave, and it was what was bad, and it was leaking fluids through here, through the side. That's why it's all dirty and disgusting. So I had a bad slave, good master. Thank you to my son for helping me bleed the system. And that's it. Let's carry on. Next thing is I'm gonna take both wheels off, and then I'm gonna prep the body so I can cut here. I wanna take this from support off, and I wanna make my own But I noticed that the AC condenser, is it the transmission cooler? Yeah, transmission cooler is attached to the rear of this. So I'm gonna be unbolting that. I'm gonna be covering the floodlights that we just installed, taping here, cutting here, removing the wheels. All right, so I'm gonna end up welding plates at the end just like this. We got these plates from from IMS down in San Diego, and I just took a few from the shop so I can do this project here. So this is gonna be my first template. Everything on the outside that has the X goes away, and this is gonna be my actual frame. And I already marked it. This is gonna be the front facing up. And I can put right side. All right guys, so I just finished this side as well, all the way around. And I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side, so I'll see you in a second.
A few minutes later.
All right guys, let me give you an update. So as you guys saw, I got those two plates mounted. And right now I'm planning on putting another one here. Just like this. I'm gonna be welding all the way around. That's it. Weld it, weld it, weld it, and weld it. So that is it for today. I gotta assemble the pipe bender that I bought. I'm gonna assemble it tomorrow before I pick up the camera. And then you and me are gonna try to figure out how to bend these pipes and how to put them in here. Give me some pointers on how to do this pipe bending. All right guys, take it easy, see ya.